Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom, the walking, talking encyclopedia. Akhand Gayatri, the evolution of Gayatri Mantra. My mission, the impeccable wisdom, knowing which everything is fully known. My greatest discovery, Divyank, the divine design of nature with which perfect objects are designed and created. Divyank is a reward of 60 years of integrated education. Impeccable wisdom is enlightening, and integrated knowledge is empowering. Let's start our journey of Gayatri Mantra from Rig Veda. And Rig Veda is the first Ved which talks about Gayatri Mantra in Mandala 10, and it's different from what we know Gayatri Mantra today. Let's see what are the words, 9 words of Gayatri Mantra in Rig Veda. It starts with Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devas Dhimihi Dio Yonah Prachodhyat. These are the only words which are mentioned in Rig Veda. Rig Veda does not talk of the other things which we know today. But let's first understand what exactly Rig Veda is talking about. To the best of my knowledge, Rig Veda is Shruti, and all the sounds, vibrations of the universe which are there were perceived by the ancient Indian sages and converted into mantras which people could understand and chant to the best of their ability. From my understanding, Vedas are full of mantras and they have a distinct meaning. Unfortunately, we do not understand the real meaning of those sound vibrations which they have used after perceiving it from universal consciousness by directly hearing it called Shruti. Let's take particular word called Tat from this particular mantra. Tat. When we think of Tat, we normally say general meaning is it means that. For example, Tat Savitur Varenyam could mean that effulgence of Savitur or sun. I cannot find fault if somebody translates Tat Savitur Varenyam, that effulgence or Varenyam of Savitur, the sun god, is what written there. But to understand Tat, the real meaning of Tat, that has been the concentration and contemplation of all the rishis, including Lord Brahma. It is said Lord Brahma concentrated or contemplated on Tat or meditated on Tat and found certain things which I would be talking later. But let me not go into that part at this juncture. Very moment I saw Tat Savitur Varenyam, I had a totally different intuitive feeling that this Tat has a different meaning compared to what everybody is talking about. And then looking at Tat as a prefix or suffix, or middle, I just looked at different possibilities. Two things really stood out in my understanding. One was Om Tat Sat. Om is the ultimate truth. So that also is like that. Om is that truth. But when I saw Tat Tvam Asi, Tat being put in front of Tvam Asi, it really caught my attention. And this is not found in Vedas, this is found in Upanishads, Pandit Chandogya Upanishads. And then I looked at its description or its explanation by all the known experts of Vedas, Upanishads, or our so-called gurus, and I was quite surprised to find that everybody in unison had been talking of translating Tat Swam Asi as I am like God, and I couldn't understand how Tat Swam Asi could be I am like God. Aham Brahmasmi. I am like Brahma, God, I can understand. I am like Brahman, I can understand. But Tattvamasi, I could not really accept that it was right. I'm asking you also, is this description perfect, correct, or it needs to be contemplated? So like Lord Brahma, I also try to contemplate on this particular thing in totality rather than Tat alone, to get the meaning of Tat. In the name of Akhand Vidyashram, my answer was, I am like Brahma or God is not the right answer. So let's contemplate on what I perceived. Tat means the divine nature. Put together, when I think of Tat, I only think of the unifying, universal force, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, all present, Nirgun, Nirankar, Brahman. That is Tat. That thing was very, very clear. That was my intuitive answer, and that's what ancient Indian sages were talking about, or they had perceived. Then when I looked at the word Tvam, and only meaning which came to my mind is every object of nature. Tvam, well known in Hindi word. Every object of nature is Tvam. Tot tat Tvam asi. Mean every aspect, every perfect object of divine nature is identical. This is what I could translate. And I have spoken to many, many people, and they have agreed that Tat Tvam Asi means everything is identical. Every perfect object it can be identical. But in the process of translation of that, I also realized there's a hidden message with that. If everything is identical, if human beings are microcosmic representatives of macrocosmic universe, if Brahmandam Pindandam is Ekam, is one, then there should also be mathematical design with which the perfect objects of the entire universe are created. And that is a hidden meaning which I felt, or the lead which gave me, is there a divine design which is identical with which the perfect of the universe are designed and created, and that's what Tattvamasi is, then I must seek. And I'm glad over a long period of contemplation and contemplation with the help of Akhand Yoga, 10 stages, I finally found Devyank, the divine design of nature, which is identical. And then over a period, I've seen all the perfect objects from spiral galaxy to the solar system to all the vital organs of the body, including DNA of the human being, as well as atomic and elemental and molecular basis of chemistry within the human body and nature. All vital things are designed only with Devyank. And I have explained quite a lot. And from that angle, I'm happy that I found the word Tat means the divine nature or the God. Okay, now from that, let's go to the next. Now, having meditated on Tattvamasi and also Gayatri Mantra of Rig Veda, let's go to the second one. Yajurved has added 3 more words in front of Tat Savitur Varenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimhi Dhyo Yonah Prachodhyat or Bhur Bhava Swa. That means Tat is further divided into Bhur Bhava Swa. If you're going to take divine nature as a solar system, Brahmand, then its 3 components are Bhur, Bhava and Swa. So I think it's very clear. Nirankur, Nirgan, Brahman is one, but when it manifests into 3 forms. If we say from God point of view, it could be Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, or Saraswati, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, or Bhur, Bhava, Swa. So now that's very clear is one, which is further divided into 3 components. As far as this mantra is concerned, prefix of Bhur Bhava Swa in front of Tat Savitur Varenyam is very clear that Tat is made of 3 parts. And now I have shown Bhur, our earth, is made of 7 parts. Bhuva, atmosphere, our Tantriksh, is of 7 parts. And Suva is also 7 parts. And this is also something I have already spoken. And 7 is the occult number, a divine number. I also see that also means it represents Om, because A is Bhur, U is Bhuva, M is Swa, and then Turiya. So I think now spirituality and science are coming together in a very mathematical design. Now let's go to the next. I have shown this particular picture only to prove that Bhur Bhava Swa is made of 21 parts. And this is the solar system. And cycle of birth, death, and rebirth restricted to this particular solar system is made of 21 parts. And when you can measure the solar system with 21 parts, that is Upanishad say, and to go beyond where liberation is, where Brahmalok is, you have to take a 22nd step. So from that, Brahma Ank is 22 by 21. I think that's very, very clear now. Now, third improvisation is so-called the Gayatri Mantra as we know, and it goes Om Bhur Bhava Swa Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimhi Dhyo Yonaha Prachodhyat. Now, as I've told you, when I was making a symbol, a logo for Akhand Foundation in 1995, I was guided to make the symbol which you can see on the bottom, and then improvised it, the one which you can see later. And that taught me Gayatri Mantra for the first time, the real meaning of Gayatri Mantra, although I was initiated into Upanayana or Gayatri Mantra at the age of 7. But let me admit with all the humility, I was not 100% sure of the exact meaning of Gayatri Mantra till this symbol was made. And after reading the book, what a knowledge I got was phenomenal. And what Voice of Silence has taught me is further enlightening. Let me explain that. Om Mandukya Upanishad, I could understand and appreciate. I have already spoken about it. Let's not waste too much of time. But remember, this is also 22 by 21. Now, same symbol. Let me show Om Bhur Bhava Swa. As I've turned the symbol towards the left, you can see the Trishulam part is actually like A. Then you can see Om. In the beginning part, there is Om. I'm sure nobody would have a difficulty in seeing Sanskritized or Devanagari Om put right in the front of the middle part. Then you have 3 components behind it. One called Bhur, Bhuva, Swa. 3. That means after Om, I have seen this, and how did it happen? I had no idea. But the way I was led to, I'm just trying to share with you. This is what I said. The front part is Om, this is Bhur, this is Bhur, this is Swa. So your Gayatri Mantra is there. This is one part. I don't think anybody should have any difficulty. You can see the Om, which I designed 50 years ago, also being represented right in the middle when it turned to the left side. Let me tell you, there is something more which emerged, which was explained to me by Voice of Silence, my guide for this work. All the 3 souls must have been responsible to show Gayatri Mantra has to be chanted at 3 times, and they are projected to 3 gods and goddesses. Now, first form is Brahmani Gayatri. You should be chanting Gayatri Mantra facing east, morning, and when there is ultraviolet light which can fall from the rising sun to the person who is chanting, and he would be definitely purified or energized for the day. And that chanting is done at 6 a.m. when sun rises. Noon, 12 o'clock, we should face north and chant Gayatri Mantra and project it as a Vaishnavi or to Lord Vishnu. And at that particular stage, rays of sun which is falling on the person who is chanting would be vertical. That means this will totally right on Sahasrara and go deep into the whole 10 centers of consciousness, as you can see here. And the middle part represents me, are the person who's chanting with all that. So it's just falling and the person is completely getting right from top of the head sahasrara into directly and then comes down. Then 6 p.m. Gayatri Mantra should be projected to Rudrani, which is the consort of Rudra or Lord Shiva. And this Gayatri should be facing the west at sunset, and the light at that particular stage, the sunlight, is full of infrared rays. Morning ultraviolet, evening infrared, and middle we are avoiding because it's just not falling on the body, it's just falling on the head. And that extra ultraviolet rays, very powerful ultraviolet rays, can be very helpful. But at the same time, let me also put that particular meditation can help you to absorb a lot of ultraviolet rays, which can help convert cholesterol into vitamin D for calcium absorption as well. So in that way, it helps very useful. So now let's go to the next one. Now from that point of view, I think I have explained this Gayatri Mantra, which you can recently ke Om is Mahamantra, and then adore the Bhur Bhava, and then I think this is already explained, so it's just been summed up to that, including Brahmani, Vaishnavi, and Rudrani Gayatris. So now, right up to this juncture, I can say I had really understood Gayatri Mantra very clearly for the first time, and then I made the card with a particular picture and explained that, and also got it registered as Gayatri. But let's go further. Over a period, after understanding Gayatri Mantra very clearly, it is Om Bhur Bhava Swa Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimhi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodhyat. In the process, we are praying to Savitur, Surya, at the same time Savitri, which is Gayatri, both male and female components. Let it be very clear, Gayatri Mantra is projected towards Surya as well as Gayatri. And also adoring all that and asking for enlightenment after surrendering with all what we have. And then blessings or enlightenment is given at 3 different stages by Brahmani, Vaishnavi, and Rudrani Gayatri forms. And as a result, you are me enlightened. But in the process, I understood the real beauty of that as Antaratma, the helium, is able to give that particular concept very clearly. And Gayatri Mantra up to that is restricted to Antaratma, the soul, or Aditi, or Antaratma, helium form. I'm sure it is very clear. But we also know there is another Gayatri Mantra called Maha Gayatri Mantra, which is found in Narayani Upanishad, is where I saw it for first time. I'm sure it must be in many, many places. But when I read Narayani Upanishad, when I was going through all the mantras, this particular mantra stood out because it was an extension of Gayatri Mantra, and it goes like that. Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Suva, Om Maha, Om Jana, Om Tapa, Om Satyam. Om Tat Savitur Varenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimhi, Dhiyo Yonah Prachodhyat. Then Om Apo Jyoti Rasomratam, Brahma Bhur Bhava Swa Om. This is the mantra, Maha Gayatri Mantra from Mahanarayani Upanishad. And after contemplating on this particular mantra, I realized in this particular mantra, Rishi, whosoever has composed this particular thing, has used 7 Vyatis or Mahavyatis along with Om in the beginning. 7. So, 7 aspects of nature or 7 chakras in the external world are focused in this particular Mahanarayani Upanishad. And then at the end, also the 7 elements are spoken about to get reinforced. Praying on one side and then asking for illumination and getting illumination through 7. 7, 7. But at the same time, I also realized in this particular mantra, Vyatis are 7, but Om is repeated 10 times. Was it a coincidence or there is a divine design? So I am convinced beyond doubt that ancient Indian sages have, in a very cryptic way, the divine consciousness or the divine design of nature or mathematical design of nature had hidden in the form of mantras, stories, and other things. And here I realize that's talking about the external root, and it could be associated with Neon 22 as well as Gayatri, and is respect to solar system to spiral galaxy, you can call it Brahmand. So from that angle, I think this was a beautiful realization. I understood what a beautiful this is. But this also encouraged me that based on Divyank and my experience with Adi Prashakti, organ 40, I contemplated and I found that we can even add one more evolution to the Gayatri Mantra in the form of Akhand Gayatri Mantra. Now let me explain that to you. Akhand Gayatri Mantra, I have added 10 Vyatis or Mahavyatis. What are they? Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Sva, Om Maha, Om Jana, Om Tapa, Om Gyan, Om Vigyan, Om Pragyan, Om Satyam. So 3 I have added to make it very clear that I am looking for knowledge now, not in a gross form, but I want philosophical knowledge, Gyan. I also want Vigyan, which is scientific knowledge. I am also seeking absolute wisdom, and I am also seeking impeccable wisdom. So the 10 Vyatis, prayer is much more precise, that we knowledge of complete data, information, knowledge to the wisdom, all the aspects I want from Goddess Gayatri. So that is 10. Then Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimhi Dio Yona Prachad. It's the same Gayatri Mantra which is found throughout from Rig Veda to Akhand Gayatri. These 9 words are consistent. Nobody has changed it. And I don't find any reason for anybody to change it because it's perfect to the core. This is the basic Gayatri Mantra. Everything is an improvisation. But then Maha Gayatri Mantra, there are 7 elements which we get as a blessing. But seeking this knowledge, what is the knowledge which I got in the process from Tat? Was Om Bhur. I could understand Bhur, Mad Adat 7 parts very clearly. Om Bhuva, 7 parts of Antriksh or atmosphere very clearly. Om Sava, 7 major heavenly bodies of solar system very clearly. Then Om Jyotir. After understanding this Bhur Bhava Swa, then Jyotir means fire elements, the Agni. And Agni is the most important part of Vedas because everything is in the middle of the 5 Panchbhutas, and addition of fire or reduction would lead to other things. But when water element, fire, earth is earth, then Bhuva and Swa, if they take them as water, then Agni would convert solid water into Vayu, air, and air will go up. And the 5th level is called Amrita, or you call it Amritam, or what was called Raso Amritam, or the essence, or the Akash Bhuta. So particularly you're lifting from solid element to the highest essence of brilliant effulgence light, Akash Bhuta. And then after going there, I could experience and understand what is Adi Shakti all about. That is organ 40. Then coming down from there, I could understand Gayatri. Then coming down, I could understand Aditi. If a Gayatri is neon, Aditi is helium. And then how they got into my physical body, Om Jivatma, which is made of 100 trillion cells with all the atoms, elements otherwise, and then ending up with Om. And the whole process If somebody is able to comprehend, concentrate after the yogasana, pranayam, and meditation, and concentrate all these 10 vyatis with a focus on 10 major chakras of the body, like Bhur with Muladhara, Bhuva with Swadhisthana, Swa with Mani or Navi, and Maha with Usha chakra, and then Jana with heart, then Tapa, throat, then Agnya, then Vigyan chakra, Pragyan chakra, and two Sahasrara chakra. If you can concentrate on that and chant this Om with this, and then chant this Gayatri Mantra, and then take the concentration right at the highest level of universal consciousness, from down, from earth to this, and then from there you let it settle down. You will be able to experience the beauty of Adi Prashakti, which has got 18 arms. And then coming down, you will be able to experience the beauty of Gayatri, which is the 10 arms. And then coming to the lower Aditi with the 2 arms. And then getting into physicalized body, Jivatma, and then settling down there, reinforced in the process. All the 100 trillion cells would be fully activated, integrated, and all the 100 billion neuron cells with a possibility of 20,000 memory synapses for each neuron cell would be, you can imagine the kind of energy you have, the kind of power you have, the kind of things you have. And I'm glad what started an accidentally initiation to simplified Kundalini Yoga on 1st January 1991, over a period gradually what level it has come, that now I can feel one with the entire universe and all the secret universe at my fingertips. And as a result, I could perceive Divyank and reveal it to the world. At the same time, make a new mantra called Akhand Gayatri, and I feel blessed. If this is what is spiritual science, this is what Vedas and Upanishads are talking about. And this is a summary of that in the mantra form of Gayatri alone. I'm sure other mantras can add much more value. We will go to that next later. Now this picture also is represented, whatever I've been speaking, everything is found in this. Let me not talk about it. I think it's been quite nice to share with you this particular concept, evolution of Gayatri Mantra to Akhand Gayatri. Thank you very much for kindly.